And we are recording, and as usual, welcome to the Speak to Sell Yourself and Your Business show. Another Thursday in what I like to call the speaking paradise. This is the place, a safe space where you can come, share, learn, be vulnerable, and most importantly, as I said, learn and apply knowledge, tools, techniques that are going to help you take your speaking to the next level. And speaking, and then we speak also about selling, confidence, everything else, because what I want you, the reason behind all of this is not just to go and sell your products and services. It's not just to speak up. It's actually to share your story, to share your greatness with the world, to have that confidence, that self-belief that people will benefit from what you've got to say. So imagine the ripple effect now, even if it's a tiny room today, we're 5 people, but imagine that all of you right after this, you go and speak somewhere on any platform, Instagram, Facebook, or you actually go out there and engage with people on a one-to-one, and you leave them a little better off. Those people will go and engage with some other people. So this is the ripple effect. I will never grow tired of speaking about this while I'm holding my coffee. The ripple effect, the compound effect of positive connections, of positively influencing people. I was just looking for my cup. I think this is the cup. I'm not going to find the name now. It's the cup thingy where you put the glass on top. Is it the cup? Okay. Well, people, if you can help me, because I do sometimes struggle with my English. So if you can help me with the name for this, I know it's a stone, like a rock, but the purpose is that you put the cup on top. So what am I doing now? What do you call this? Help me while I'll carry on with today's topic. Because when it comes to speaking up, when it comes to jumping on any stage, going to do some networking, whatever that might be, I always want you to be ready. Now let's speak from a business owner point of view. I want you to be ready. I want this baby up here, the mind and your mindset, specifically the thinking, you have your thinking patterns to be in a place of empowerment, of readiness, of resourcefulness. So if I said to you, right, have you got a story to tell? You say yes. So you take every opportunity. Would you like to introduce yourself today? Absolutely. And then you raise your hand. Actually, someone comes to you, Craig, we're running an event next week and the speaker is just gone sick. He's got COVID, like my brother did and my parents over Christmas. So at that point you say, well, what is the topic about? I can definitely fill in, that gap. This could be my talk. This could be my presentation. Because you will have the mindset and at the same time, you will have the resources to do this as well. Fundamental. So today I decided to make it a little bit about memory, preparation, and as usual, mindset in terms of that readiness, in terms of keeping your mindset in check. How are you feeling before your presentation, throughout your presentation, after your presentation? And this is what we're going to do quickly here. And I'm going to pick, just to warm things up a little bit. And see how Herman is today, because Herman hasn't spoken on the show for a while. So Herman, here is a quick exercise, and people, you can practice this at home every time. Even if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't work, keep on doing it. Because one of the things I tend to find a lot is that we as human beings and people I coach, they tend to come to me and say, but I don't have many stories to tell. And, is my story going to create an impact? And right away, you're telling yourself a story that is not helping you. So you're keeping your mindset in check, but for the wrong reasons as well. So what we're going to do is a quick exercise, Herman. And I want you to look at your environment. Look at your environment. Yeah. So look around, your place, your room, whatever you are, or unless you're in the toilet. Are you in the toilet? That's not a toilet.
We are not going to talk about that, just in case.
Just in case. Okay, cool. So hopefully it isn't. So pick whatever item you see, or whatever it is that you've seen, and tell us what you see.
Look, I'm going to show you. This is one of my friends.
Okay.
I know you got in there.
So who is that? Is that Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong, yes.
Okay. So now what I want you to do is tell us a very short story. I'll tell you where to stop, but fly away. Tell us a story about Donkey Kong, about that thingy, that Donkey Kong doll toy that you have. Over to you. Go now.
Well, it was, I think, a couple of years ago, I received like a big Kinder egg. These ones that they got the present. But obviously, I've never seen that. I've seen the little ones. And I was wondering, well, what is this? And they said, well, this is the, how do you say, Pascua. Well, anyway, this is the present, and hey, just go for it and just open it. So, well, I had Donkey Kong. My surprise was that I used to love Donkey Kong Country. That was that Super Nintendo game. I used to play a lot, well, with you, brother, with my cousin. So it brought me back to my memories in Venezuela when I was a kid in Venezuela.
Fantastic.
And
I'll just a quick, interruption.
Okay.
Fantastic. So nice, well done, in the sense that, yes, you came up with a story. And how powerful this is, because we didn't know what Herman was going to pick, did we? And the other day I was podcasting. We also do the podcast. There's a video running, and I decided to pick my doll. And Craig, you may recognize this in Japan, Majinga Seto. It's a doll that, I grew up watching and I love it. Yeah, Gundam. Yeah, yes. I think that there's, well, Gundam, I think Gundam is another one. This is Majinga Seto. But hey, let's not debate on that one here. And so I told a story about it. Okay, so what I want you at this point is to start developing the flexibility. Why? When you have the ability to tell stories, those stories you're very likely to remember, going about remembering your talk and your presentation and everything else. If I ask Herman tomorrow, I guarantee you that if I ask Herman tomorrow, could you remind me of that story you told me yesterday about Donkey Kong? I'm sure it's going to be at least 70% accurate comparing to what it is in there. And the fact that, we don't need to memorize this because it's our story, then we can tell it in our own words. Now, the next exercise here is going to be for Herman, and then you people watching as well. You feel free to do this at home whenever you're watching on replay. By the way, if you have any questions, you can book a strategy call with me. You can reach out to the team and much more. Okay, this is part of the community. So now, Herman, what would be a point, okay, you would make in a presentation where you could use that story to illustrate it with?
Say again, how would be?
Yeah.
How
so
would you
imagine exactly. Imagine now that you're going to be presenting.
Yeah.
You're going to be running a presentation, and there is a point you would like to illustrate with that story, because that's the whole point. That's another thing. Whenever we are presenting, a very beautiful structure to have is what I like to call make a point and tell a story, or tell a story and then make the point. And then the more you do this, this is actually how you can build the chunks of your presentation or the different parts of your presentation. Then I can tell you about how to build the stories, which could be another video on its own, I would say, another session. But I want you to start thinking about that. So I'm going to be speaking about connection today. So, okay, what story can I use to illustrate that point? So Herman, you just spoke, and we're going to reverse it. And it doesn't matter because you may not need, or you may not have a presentation around Donkey Kong, but I give you an idea. You may have a presentation where you decide to bring some of your memories from the past and who you are, who you were, how you grew up watching and playing video games. That's part of who you are, not who you've become today because you don't play them anymore. But even if you did, it doesn't matter. I'm not judging here. So you see where I'm coming from. So you can't think about a point. Yeah, you're loving it. So what would be a point you would make, and how would you illustrate it with that story you already shared?
So for example, I think sometimes when I'm presenting, I like to, say where, tell people where I'm coming from. And I come from a different background. So as you know, well, maybe people don't know, I'm a videographer at the moment. That's what I do professionally, but my background is totally different. And if I come even backwards, then I would come to that point in which I would say I was living in Venezuela, I used to play Donkey Kong. And there was one day in which I received this lovely present from my girlfriend, and that brought me backwards, even before my experience here, my living in the UK. From those lines are basically presenting. What I would do is just kind of stop for a moment and then introduce the story to kind of break out a bit the room.
Okay. Well, look. You're on the right track. Absolutely. And of course, I ask you to pick something from your environment. This is an improvisation, full-on improvisation. I ask you to pick an item and then think about a presentation, a point in your presentation to illustrate it with a story. So what you've done is fantastic. it doesn't happen like this in real life, because you would then plan it. It's not going to have, I mean, the improvisation is good, but then you would potentially plan it. Okay, this is, the point I want to make is where I come from. And I want people to understand that I used to like video games and, for example.
Okay.
So there you have it. Another one, Herman has this presentation in which he teaches people, shows people how to create incredible videos that, get people to take action, position you as an authority, and much more. And we should do that session again. And in that process, Herman shows, he brings a couple of King Kongs into the mix. So I was just thinking to see the previous King Kong and how you want the quality of your video to be, whether you want this King Kong from the 1970s or the King Kong from the 2012, whatever. But I'm thinking now that as you're making that point, you could even bring your little Donkey Kong and say, yeah, but I'm not talking about this one. I also used to like video games. You could use it just to break a little bit, the presentation in there, or use it as a prop as well. So you can actually use it as a prop for a reason. Ideas. I'm not saying it's exactly how it's going to go, but then you incorporate more ideas into your presentations. And this is how you start weaving in stories. Practice. You know where you can actually, whenever you say Craig, Ada, people watching this on replay, I'm going to reach out just to grab my phone. You're looking for stories. How many pictures do you take regularly? And if I go here, I don't know, I've got this one here, a picture, where I'm holding my brother. Right away, I can come up with a story here. Yeah. And then how do I use it? I can actually speak. You see, I just had an idea. I can use this picture and then I can make a point about, and Herman knows this story. Here it goes. The point I'm making is, don't work with family unless you want to grow. And then I look at him. That would be my point. And the story to back that up, which in a way what's been prompted by this, can be the story of how I wake up every day. And sometimes I'm dreading to receive a message from my brother, because he may potentially give me another problem for me to sort out. So when I see him just is pinging, I sometimes actually hide the phone and I just go somewhere else, and I need to be in the right state of mind. But it's not always been like this. I mean, we used to have an incredible relationship before the business. So you see where I'm going and where I'm coming from as well. So I'm using something to tell a story and I'm illustrating a point. Simple. It is quite simple. So now what I want you to do is start thinking about the structure whenever you build, you create your presentation. And it doesn't matter. It can be business related. Yesterday, I delivered a session where I explained the same concept, and there were people from different backgrounds, engineers, lawyers, people from banking, wealth management. And then I gave them an example of one of my stories when I used to be in manufacturing, how I can, weave in a story to show how a business works. And what I did was, I usually get itchy nose a few minutes in this presentation. There we go. Nothing to worry about anyway. No COVID, nothing. And here is the story. So I will start. I have loads of engineers sitting in front of me. And instead of saying, this is how we work, and these are the products we sell, and these are the things we do. No, I would have a slide to illustrate certain things. I would have my points. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, people. I would have my points, the what, the how. My points would be, what is it that we do, how we do it, and what results you can expect. And then I'm going to make this story very short, but I will speak about Luis. After knocking on that door, finally, one of the top aerospace manufacturers in the world opened the door to me. Yeah, to Jose, the Venezuelan guy, the guy with the accent. I may have shared some stories before, so you know where I'm coming from when it comes to speaking with an accent and everything else. And Luis very kindly took me through his workshop, huge machining center. You wouldn't believe it. Well, machining workshop, by the way. And as I'm walking through it with him, I'm having a chat and I start looking at the different opportunities that, there could be for improvement when it comes to the processes and everything else. And I said, well, and before I say something, Luis comes to me and says, no, Jose, never mind, forget about it, because we are full. There's no way we can stop what we're doing at the moment. I'm sorry. I know we can improve, but we cannot stop. We need to keep on, getting products through the door to satisfy our clients' demands. And I just go, okay, Luis, no, you're right, brother. And we keep on, walking through, and I'm thinking, I say, look, can I make a phone call quickly? Yeah, that's fine. Picked up the phone. I called our technical center in the UK. I just go, guys, I've got a bit of opportunity here. Is it possible for me to take a part or something? And then we go there and I'll send it to you, and then you can replicate the process and see how we can improve it. Yeah, Jose, absolutely. They said to me, okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So I said to Luis, I understand this and it's challenging. So how about we take that off your shoulders, that burden off, and we do it in our place in the UK? How would that be for you? All I need is that you give us the key feature that's giving you the most problems. Well, Jose, that sounds good. Okay, so give it to me, Luis. And, I took it to the UK. All of that happened. Research and development got involved. We managed to provide what we call like an improvement process sheet / case study. And I went back, spoke to Luis. He used to take me to this incredible restaurant where we'd have like mushrooms and what they call caracois, which are the snails, but a different version to the French, by the way, very peppery taste. And as I'm speaking there, I said, Luis, I've got a surprise for you. And I just gave him the case study. He couldn't believe it. Of course. I mean, really? Yeah. Give us an opportunity. Let's just stop a machine whenever you can for a day. Let's run this process. Many years later, I'm still in conversations with Luis, believe it or not, because we develop a good connection. And they have saved almost €1 million now based on just that single feature. You see what I've done there? I told you, and I could have given you more details if you're engineers and actually how we developed the process and what the process was for people that want more detail. But right away, I've told you a story of how a very technical business, very technical, very high quality product engineering business works through a story that you can place in your mind and think, wow, okay, this is how I believe these people could help me. And that is the power of the story in this sense. So what I want to invite you to do is to start weaving more stories into your presentations in this sense. Jose, you said to us that we were going to be looking at memory. Will you remember Luis' story? Not every detail, but will you remember most of it? Will you remember the essence of that story? Rashmi, if I ask you a little bit about the story, what will you remember right now?
Yes, like you went to Lewis and asked him like if you can take the process of their business and then researched on the case study and presented to them. At the end of the case study, Lewis asked that, is it really possible? So you asked for the opportunity that yes, we can do that.
There we go. So yeah, a summary, and that's your version of it, but that is in essence exactly what I shared. And I wonder if anyone else in the audience would have remembered as well as Rashmi just did, if I would have gone with lots of technical information and the usual, this is who we are, this is where we're from, this is the kind of products we make, which is important. And you can do that. And Rashmi is not a potential client, so I may not be speaking to the right audience here when I share this story. But it was even a high technical product service can be illustrated like that, and then people can remember it. And then Rashmi, if Rashmi comes across someone in India that is, running machine shops and things, she may remember this. Oh, should I speak to Luis? Should I speak to Jose? Well, what's the business that he spoke about? Powerful. And we remember it. So that's one of the elements when it comes to memory. Now, I want to invite you, because another way of being ready for a presentation and not dreading it too much and not having that, and it still happens to me. I get my butterflies. Even before I jump here, I get a bit excited and a bit, that tickling throughout my body. It's just like, yeah, come on, let's do this. Yeah, I'm a human being and I enjoy that. What I do make sure is to use that to my advantage to present my best version. And my best version changes, by the way, because sometimes I'm more energized, sometimes I'm more rested. Today, I might be more tired than other days. It doesn't matter, but this is the process. And if I know what I'm going to be speaking about, it puts me at ease. If I know I will remember things because I've got a strategy, it's much better. And then whatever happens with the audience, whatever happens in front of me with you people, if you start throwing stones at me, that's the beauty of the virtual industry nowadays, then you won't get me. So let's just do another exercise. And here I'm going to share the screen. And this is a bit of a memory technique. Tan, 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 tan. Can you all see it, people? And Craig, Ada, if you have any questions, anything, feel free to contribute here. So imagine, and this is a memory technique called the room technique. I use this for my TEDx, a combination of elements. I did the make a point, tell a story, so I would know exactly, that every point was going to be followed by which story, but I also use the room technique. And I do it often. You can use it to the extension of loads of details, or actually for the main points of your presentation, to remember words that may be tricky for you. And we're going to share some examples. So imagine the first thing is that you find a room. It can be a room in your head that you remember. I usually go, you wouldn't believe it, but I go to a room in Cumaná where we were brought up in Venezuela. Small room, but I got lots of places in there where I can actually link information to or hook information to. So this room technique, we're going to use this example for everyone to understand it. So you can see it's like an office room. The way this works, first of all, is that we're going to look for places that don't move, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to work in a fashion from your left to right, okay? So we're going to go like this, if that makes sense. And I think for you, you're looking at me right to left. What we're going to be doing, just think about your left, which should be here, to right. So we're sitting there, and we're looking, I want you to, first of all, look at the curtains. Can you see the curtains? The first curtains starting at the left, to the very left. Yeah, Craig. Okay, Ada, hopefully you're still with us. If not, you can watch this on replay as well, and everyone else. Okay, cool. That's going to be one of the places where we're going to hook a piece of information. I will explain to you how. Then let's focus on the windows. Okay, so the window, the whole thing. So you with me? That's the second point. So if you think about it, yeah, the curtains, you could change the curtains, but most of the time they're going to be there. If you want to call them the blinds, the curtains, then you have the windows, they're going to be there. And I want you then to take the third one. It's going to be the screen. Hopefully that screen, you're not moving it. And by the size of it, if you change it, it's going to be potentially a similar screen, the size of the screen. So you got those three. You can use many more. The idea, you start, and you go around if you want to add more things to it. Okay, imagine that you got a long talk and there's lots of things you want to remember. So you're going to work in this fashion. You start on the left, and then you can go top of the room, and then you can start scrolling down with things that you are not likely to move, because once you move them, then they may disrupt the image you've created for yourself. So I'm going to give you the 4 secrets of memory. First, imagination. Image, ination. So we create a powerful image. The second one is to make it stand out. When I say make it stand out, we're going to do whatever we want with that image that we're going to be recreating. It's going to be fun. It's going to be gross. It's going to be weird. It's going to be shiny, whatever. It's going to be exploding. We're going to make it stand out, because for the mind, that's going to be easier to remember. That's the second one. Then the third element or secret of this memory technique, of memory in general, is that we're going to link it. So we're picking a place in the room, we're going to link it to something that then we're going to remember. Of course, we're going to be linking our point, the point we're making. And then the fourth element is repetition. We're going to repeat this a few times. And then if you like the technique, you can recreate it at home and repeat it a few times, because repetition is what's going to make it stick. So I'm going to ask, I don't know, Craig, I'll ask you, what would be a point you would like to remember in one of your presentations? And then I'll explain to you. Let's just do it live. Something that you may come up with if you want to share, of course. Otherwise, we can always go to Herman. But something you would like to remember.
In my presentation?
Yeah.
I think the key thread between the different parts, the thing that I need to have everything linked so that the presentation flows.
Okay, and what would that be specifically? Think about whatever it is, a topic you've spoken about in the past, one of the points you wanted to make.
Probably solving some problem, needing to explain, to set it up, what it was,
okay,
what we did,
so
and then the results of it.
Give that a name. Give that a name. What would it be, the problem? What would that problem be specifically? And then we can do the exercise here.
Okay. Specifically then, fixing a customer complaint.
So customer complaint. Okay, cool. So there's a customer complaint. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So let's use the customer complaint. That's one element that you want to speak about in your presentation. And let's say it's the first thing, okay, for example. Or you start with the introduction and then you want to dive right into it. So you got the blinds or the curtains in there. Instead, let's just look at something else. And another key element of this process is just to trust whatever comes to mind. To me, I just assign in that space a very angry customer, and I can see a guy, huge guy, hanging like Donkey Kong by the curtains, shouting down at me as I'm sitting there. I'm looking at him. He's shouting, he's swearing in Spanish, in English. He's got big glasses, huge mustache. He cannot even talk. And then he's just, hey, I just didn't deliver. And he's shouting. And I don't know what this accent is, but this is how I'm picturing this guy having a go at me hanging from that curtain. It's like a bit like a Chucky, but with mustache. Scary as well. And he's there. That would be an example. Are you likely to then remember when you look at the curtains, are you likely to remember the complaint, the customer complaint, by, you know, just the way it's been done? How simple was that? And it was even fun. I mean, I didn't saw Craig laughing, but he gave us the emoji, and I saw Rashmi laughing a little bit, and then Herman and all of that. It is as simple as that. So then you go, okay, I've got an introduction, this and that, and then customer complaint. If you are playing it and you got the room in your head, it can be that you're sitting there, and then my first point, and then you look, and then it's just customer complaint. In your mind, it's already there, customer complaint. And then as you go, I'm going to then add, I'm actually going to add a resolution to that problem. Imagine, so it's got the customer complaint, and let's imagine that next comes the problem resolution that I want to speak about, and there is a story that I'm using in there as well. And then this is what I'm seeing. There is a huge heart coming through the window, smashing that window, all the glasses flowing everywhere, and the heart is just pumping right on my face. It's huge. There's no other place the heart can go to. And I'm just like, wow, I'll be overwhelmed. It's that heart has got a huge smile that represents, to me, a great connection and an excellent customer service, a problem resolution. After that guy was shouting and everything in there comes that problem resolution, that connection, that feeling, that human connection in there, that the problem has been solved. This is my representation of it, by the way. You can play around with it, but you see what I've done? I've exaggerated the whole thing. It's just coming through the glass, just exploding the whole thing. And then you can attach specific words to it as well. You could break down the word. Well, if it's customer complaint, I mean, I think that, you know, serves the purpose right away. And it's what came to mind. The beauty is, some people say specifically what you should do, but I think if you trust the mind in that process, the unconscious gives you something, and then what you do is just need to rehearse it. So whenever Craig next time is speaking, okay, I'm presenting today, whatever the name of a presentation is, and then he's seen in his mind, he's looking, you know, he's got the room in his mind, or you could actually do it in the room where you're going to be presenting the day before. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And then you just go, yeah, customer complaint, you got that guy, the Spanish guy shouting at you with a big mustache. And then, of course, the customer resolution and how they left us a great testimonial. And there is an incredible relationship with that heart coming through, boom, and smashing the whole thing in our faces. And then imagine that at the end, what would you say at the end? How would you like this story to end, Herman? Or this presentation to end? One more element to it that we can remember.
Well, one of the things that I, in my case, I would like to add more often are these comparisons that are not comparisons, yeah, analogies that, you know, I create them like quite easily. Maybe just, but yeah, at the end, it doesn't make sense, but I was thinking of them.
Okay, well, people, okay, I'm going to say this here. I'm going to say it here because this is part of how the mind works. And I'm not saying you go telling people this. I'm going to do it because this is what came to mind as you said, analogy. This is what came to mind, and I will always remember it. As I come to the third, remember I said it can be rude, it can be gory, it can be weird. Well, as I come to the third point, okay, that I want to remember today using this technique and looking at the screen, I thought about anal orgy. That's what came to mind, okay? Anal orgy, analogy to me. There's no way I'm going to forget that. I'm actually remembering that for good. I don't need to add anything else to it. I'm just seeing that in there. Oh, goodness me, analogies. This is the beauty of using this technique. I know it's rude. Some people may not agree, but the thing is, you're not writing this down. You're not telling people this story. You're using it in your mind. So whatever comes to mind, when it comes to, I want to remember analogies, there we go, Herman. You messed up that word for me now. I will, every time I will, want to do, if I go in my presentation, this is analogy time. There we
Creating
go.
the image.
The
You created that image for sure.
Exactly. So you're creating an image. Remember, so you got the image, stands out. Absolutely. Yeah. It is linked now to the screen. So you're watching every time you're doing your presentation. The third element in this case, in today's example, is going to be the analogy. Okay. And then you repeat it. So what you can do, people, let's just repeat. And actually, next time we're together, maybe next week or in 2 weeks' time, I'll remind me to put on this image again, and we're gonna remember then the guy complaining at Craig, I cannot believe it, Senor, you didn't deliver. And then you come to the other one, the problem resolution, with a huge heart just coming through the window. Wow, I mean, we solved the problem. Now there's a great connection, there's a great relationship with it, which is growing for the business. And then Herman will remember us all to use analogies when we look at the screen. And then you can continue doing the same process, and you can do it with specific words that you want to remember as well. I'm going to finish with this. Anna, my wife, I'm going to finish the memory, and then I'll give you one technique in terms of to help you with the state management. But I said, well, my wife, I think it was her to say to me, can you remind me tomorrow? And she does this often. Now, as I'm actually falling asleep, she said to me, can you remind me to please buy toothpaste? Hello, Wayne, welcome. I'm finishing a quick story here, and then I'll tell you a little bit of what we're doing. So she says to me, can you remind me, as I'm falling asleep, I'm actually just, okay, darling, I'll see you tomorrow. Can you remind me what? What do you want me to remind you? I'm falling asleep. Can you remind me to buy toothpaste tomorrow? Toothpaste tomorrow. Yeah, so you think at that moment, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to write it down, toothpaste and everything else. Yeah, right. So what I did was, okay, let me just do this quickly. I pictured a huge, but huge, you wouldn't believe it, toothpaste man. So the toothpaste tube with arms and everything else. Again, I like to picture them for some reason angry. So he's shouting at me. It's just like a bodybuilder, a toothpaste bodybuilder standing in front of the door, and he's not letting me through. Until today, I still remember the guy, and I always remember to buy toothpaste. So we have got too many toothpastes lying around the place. That happen easily. And you can turn this into a habit. Just like, weaving stories and everything else. You turn it into a habit, and then it becomes part of your day-to-day. Okay, so I want to remember something here. Where am I going to attach that image to? How am I going to make it stand out? And repeat it. And there you go. Herman will always remember analogies, and that's fantastic. And then Craig, I think you will remember the guy complaining, and then I will remember the relationship as well with the heart and everything else, and we will all remember this. Rashmi didn't add to it, but then we can ask Rashmi next time and see, who do you see on the curtain? Who do you see in the window? Who do you see on that screen?
I don't know what you describe as that angry guy, the one in the curtains, like me with big glasses, big mustache. Were you trying to say anything? I don't know. I just felt identified.
Well, then that's down to each one of you. If you want to identify yourself to it, and then if Craig wants to use your face in there instead of the other man, then feel free to do that, Craig.
Feel free, Craig. If that helps, just feel free.
I'm going to start sharing for a moment to quickly welcome Wayne. Wayne, hello, welcome. How are you? If you want to say hello, if you're busy, that's also okay. I'll tell you, we've been speaking a little bit about storytelling, how to think of stories more often, how to start weaving them into our presentations, how to make a point and tell a story. So basically using our stories to illustrate our points, or sometimes how to just, tell the story and then make the point. Then how easily we can remember our presentations by doing this: make a point, tell a story, make a point. And then I share with this incredible group the room technique. And with the room technique, it was just actually that. And I think I spoke about this on Clubhouse briefly the day you asked, when I told you about the magnifying glass and everything else. Whenever we want to remember things in our presentation, we can attach certain elements in a certain way to the room. It can be the room we're in or the room we remember, okay, from our childhood, or a room or kitchen. Herman likes to remember the toilet for some reason. So things like that. And then you attach the different elements just in the way we did. Now to wrap up, I said today was about remembering. And by the way, Wayne, you can watch this on replay. Rashmi is going to be sending the recording Saturday. It's going to be available on Clubhouse, not on Clubhouse, people, on the Speak to Sell show on Facebook. So you can join there as well. We have got all the guides, all the different episodes that we've been running and doing, and much more. So today was about, how to remember your talk, and then how to keep your mindset in check. With the preparation and everything else that we've done today, so far, you're preparing to succeed when you deliver your presentation, because then all the anxiety and many things are going to go away because you're more in control. Hello, look at that incredible face. Fantastic to have you here with us.
I was kicking some people out from the office.
Well done.
Session with you.
Well done. Did you kick them hard?
Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining us today, Wayne. Well, then, if you want to watch this or replay some of the things I spoke about, you may find them interesting as well when it comes to the memory and everything else. Well, we've got Herman, who's my brother here. We've got Rashmi. We've got Craig all the way from Japan. Craig is a regular and we love him. And then we had Ada. She had to leave. She was in Australia. But hey, this is the community. And the whole idea is to help people speaking up, gaining confidence, remembering their talks, sharing their greatness, telling stories, and communicating with impact, communicating with confidence, which I think is going to be next week's topic, Rashmi. Okay. Yeah, we have a deal. Wayne. Okay, cool. So now what I want to share with you is a technique, which it is called, some people call it the circle of excellence. You may have heard it. Some others call it the circle of brilliance, whatever that might be. And when I say a circle, what I like about this exercise specifically is that, I stand up when I speak. One of the reasons why is because 12% more oxygen reaches my brain. And as I'm here, I want to be as awake as possible. I don't want to be slouching, sitting there, really struggling to talk. So as I'm doing this, the circle of excellence, imagine going back to what we've been doing today. And by the way, Wayne, I'll share with you the 4 secrets that I share when it comes to memory. So imagination was one of them. And then we got to imagine, similar to the exercise we quickly did on Clubhouse. So imagination was one of the key secrets of memory. Then that image, making it gross, stand out somehow, disgusting, or very happy, weird, whatever that might be, because the mind tends to remember those easier. Then linking that element in the room to the point that you want to remember. And today, what we did was that actually we linked the curtains in the room to a customer complaint that Craig wanted to speak about. Then the windows were the conflict resolution and the long-lasting relationship. We kind of made it up as we went. And then finally, Herman wants to remember analogies. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how he's going to remember that, but then it was very rude, but then that helps the mind. So can I tell you how he's going to remember analogies? Are you okay with me sharing? Yeah, it is rude, but then it is the purpose. The purpose is for it to be rude if that's how I'm going to remember it. So let me actually share. So just sharing again the room here. So you see the screen in between? Can you see the screen in there? So Herman wanted to remember analogies. And as he said analogies, that he wanted to remember that, I saw the screen was on and I just went anal orgy. That's what came to mind. It's not, I'm not pretending to be funny or anything or rude on purpose. It's just what came to mind. I just, analogies. Whenever I come to that and we watch this in 3 weeks' time, if I pull up this image again, I will remember analogies, to use analogies in my presentations. That's an example. And we even teach children this. And what we're saying is, look, use what comes to mind. You don't need to share it. You don't need to tell anyone. We're not encouraging you to be rude. It's just using what comes to mind. And then you will remember it instead of making yourself remember something else. I can tell you more about it. Well, actually, just watch the replay whenever you can, because then I explain in more detail what we're supposed to do in order for that to happen. And then finally, well, I was speaking about the circle of excellence, and that circle of excellence, imagine you lay a circle on the floor, okay? And this is going to be in preparation for your talk, or you can even do it during your talk or your presentation. Even if you're sitting down, it doesn't matter. So imagine you go a circle okay? And you lay it on the floor. And now you can do this anytime you like. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to start, okay, thinking about everything that you want to have happen in that presentation. So, example, I want that presentation to go smooth. I want everyone to remember me, to be memorable. I want people to engage. I want people to take value away from it. I want incredible interactions. And as you're sharing and doing this, you know, thinking about it, I want you to feel the feelings that all of that thinking, that thought process is giving you, all of those feelings. And then if you like, play, you know, a tune, play a song that you like, that empowers you. And as you carry on thinking about that, you got the music, just go for what can be your power pose. If you have a power pose, or how you stand when you're feeling confident, and how you breathe and everything else. And as those feelings tend to go up, and I'm feeling it now, because I mean, you know, there's a bit of a rush going through. Yeah, this is great. So as I'm feeling this and I'm reaching top, I just step into my circle and I leave everything in there. I just go, I leave my best piece of music, my memories, how I want my presentation to go. And as the feelings start to drop, I step out. And then you can repeat this over and over again. I think about my granddad a lot before I present, because it connects me with myself and that humble person that I can be sometimes, and that I would like to be more often. Yeah. So I actually think about that, and all of those emotions as I'm feeling them. Yeah. That compassion, love, and I lay inside the circle. There we go. So it's inside my circle, and then I come out again. So I charge myself up and I leave it in the circle. Charge myself up with whatever it is, whatever way of thinking, whatever we want to have happen, our purpose, our intentions, anything that comes to mind, people. Yeah, and leave it there. Woo! I'm stepping into the circle and I'm feeling more empowered. It's just, okay, let me just do it again. Woo! So I'm just actually leaving more in the circle and I'm coming out. You can see what's going on here, because the thinking I've got is just connecting with more and more great things. So once I feel like my circle is ready, I'll pick it up. I usually fold it for some reason. That's what makes sense to me. And I put it in my pocket. That's me. But then I've got all of that power in there. I always encourage people to feed that circle every now and then. Whenever you're feeling like awesome, whenever something went exactly the way you wanted it to go, whenever, I don't know, you've seen your partner or your bit on the side, or whenever you had a great day at work, whatever, you go with that energy, with those memories, with that thinking, and you just go and leave all of that energy in there. Whoa, it's just like you saving it in there, all of that passion. So next time you're about to do a presentation, or you are going to go on a networking event, or for Rashmi works with us. So whenever you're going to have a meeting with me, Rashmi, you can actually go and create your circle of excellence. I'm going to step into this circle so I can keep up with this prick. Jesus Christ, I'm just going to go in my best state possible. So you go and lay it in there, you step into it. I cannot help it. I mean, it's just happened. I cannot help it, you know? So this is what, when I speak about having an unshakable mindset, keeping your mindset in check, we are in control here. And I step out again, and then I grab it. Another key element that you can do, well, it's going to be a secret. Yeah, it can be a secret. I'll tell you. Do you want me to tell you? I'm going to drink a bit of coffee before I tell you. 1 second. We just need to check in with Craig. Craig, are you still there, brother? Because I know it's late in Japan and you're usually commuting and things like that. Hey, what an amazing guy. Love it. What you can do as well on the stage, and now I got it here, and I laid it for the first time, as I was explaining. I never done it in this environment. Now I have it next to me, so I can actually, woo, and then I come out again. You can do that on the stage, whatever your stage is, even under your desk. You can lay it under your desk, and then just go tap on it. Yay! But then make sure you step out again, or that you recharge it. Okay, that's the process. Always recharge your circle, but then you step into it. Woo! I got the energy, and then you can leave it in a certain area. So as you deliver your presentation, it depends, because imagine yesterday I delivered 2 hours. So after an hour and a bit of speaking nonstop, yeah, I need a bit of a break. It can be a mental break, a bit of coffee, water. Yeah, that's fine. But as I do that, I step into the circle. Oh yeah, people, this is going exactly how I want it. You see, I just go all of that waiting for me, and then I step out again. Or you can have it as a point where, yeah, I need a bit of energy. So you step on your circle a little bit there. Yay! And then you carry on talking, but you know unconsciously that it's there already. And even if you don't do it purposely, already you have that energy in there, and unconsciously you're gravitating towards it. Yeah, here it is. Come on, and you carry on. That's what I'm talking about. Using your imagination, which is something we've done today a lot. Using your imagination to find the most resourceful state for you when you're presenting, when you're speaking, when you're engaging with human beings, when you are actually want to take time for yourself and read, focus. This works for everything. It's not because, yeah, I'm going to be today sharing with the world and I need all of that. No, sometimes, you can add relaxation to it. You can add yoga movements, whatever you want to add to it, you're going to have it. And then you can pick, yeah, well, you know what? I need a bit of, yoga feeling. So I'm actually going to, a bit of stretching in here. Okay, yeah. And then different breathing, all of that. Use it to your advantage. It's simple. This is simple. The thing is, what we tend to do is the opposite. We tend to go inside it. What if people don't listen to me? What if they don't take in what I'm going to be saying? What if they don't really care? And what if? But all of those what ifs are quite negative. So what if they did? What if they did listen? What if at least one person change his or her life because of listening to your story or your presentation? Let's take this out of this context a little bit and turn it into a health and safety, for example, environment. Yesterday, I was speaking to a manager within the health and safety. That's what they do. And he's supposed to deliver a presentation around this. And then he kept on saying, yeah, well, I don't know how to make it engaging. And I don't know if it's going to land the way I want to. And so I asked him, what is your purpose? What is your intention behind all of this? Well, I want to present this and I want to be okay with it, but take it higher, one level up. What is the higher intention behind it? Well, I want people to listen to this, so they take care of themselves. So I helped him take it another way higher, another level. I said, look, would it be possible that if you deliver that the right way, you could be saving lives? Yeah, absolutely. So that is the power behind that, the impact you're going to have, the purpose. That's why it's so important to think about the purpose, which is not usually for us, it's for the audience. You're going to be saving life. The more people know about this, about the health and safety within certain industries, you're potentially saving lives. Right away, he changed. He saw the face, because we don't get to see much, more than a face and a little bit of the upper body, but he just went like, that makes sense kind of face. So my point is using imagination, yes, and also asking ourselves some good questions, because then that can help us. If I said to Rashmi, what is your purpose? It's definitely not to do some of the things you do. It's actually the end result, that you're helping people grow their businesses. You're helping people achieve their dreams. How important is it then that we are in the right state of mind and that we nurture this? That's what I call an unshakable state. And it's the daily repetition of the things we want to achieve instead of what we don't want. What's the purpose of it? And I'm not saying that we don't learn from failure, mistakes, and things like that. What I'm saying is, what stories are we telling ourselves? Any final thoughts? Because at this point, I've been speaking for almost 50 minutes. It's been a pleasure. We have touched on, for people watching this on replay or people watching now on Facebook, we are live streaming this. We have spoken about the importance of storytelling, which you may know, but how you can start finding stories everywhere. So I want you to develop the muscle of finding stories, incorporating stories into your presentations, not just for the sake of it, but to illustrate your points. So a powerful structure is you make a point and you tell a story to illustrate it, or you tell a story and then at the end you make that point. And that is a beautiful structure. And then stories, you're more likely to remember your own stories. Then I share the room technique, where you can actually use elements in that room. And for you, Wayne, it could be the room you're sitting in. Always remember, if you're going to do this, and when you watch the replay, you're going to understand a bit more. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Pick things that you're not going to be moving, okay? Because if you have a picture on the wall that's been there for the past 10 years, then that might be good. But if you tend to change things around like my wife does, then don't pick things that can be moved. So just focus on the stairs. I know the stairs are not going to go anywhere. I know that window is not going to go anywhere unless she goes crazy, and then we don't have the budget for it yet. So it can still be there for a couple of years and so on. Or you can use rooms in your mind that they won't change because, you know, they're from your childhood or a previous office you had and things like that. They can always remain the same. And then finally, we spoke about the circle of excellence, the circle of power, can be the circle of fire. I know Rashmi, you know, she loves fire, so it can be their circle of fire. Be careful, don't get burned if you jump in there. Whatever that might be for you, and then that you can begin to utilize it. Remember to feed it your thoughts, your energy, the music, the moments, the memories, everything that you want to have in there. Build it up. And the more successes you have on a daily basis, which I'm sure you do, whether you are becoming aware of them and being grateful for it, it's a different story, but even the tiny bits, add them to it. And then every now and then step into it. Yeah. And then out again. And come on. And this is how I would love to finish today's session, people. Any final thoughts, takeaways, or actually, most importantly, one thing you're going to be doing. And I know, Wayne, you joined a bit late, so you missed part of it. It's okay. But anything that you feel you've taken away so far, feel free to share. So anyone, before we say ciao, ciao, because Jose is going to drink some coffee. The circle method sounds very powerful. Craig, amazing stuff, senor. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
A very nice way, a bit rude, but a very nice way to remember analogies, to use analogies.
There we go. I'm sure you will remember to use analogies. Every time you see a screen now, you're going to be analogies.
Yeah.
And
every
then,
time I'm trying to move my room now, I'm going to be thinking of you because I moved from one side to another, and I just
well, you can move yourself and you can do whatever, but then, you know, you can actually look at some fixed points where you want to hook
I
in
think I
pieces
will
of
stick to
information.
the door and the window for now.
Just do that.
You've
for
got a
now.
nice lamp hanging over there.
Yeah, you can use the lamp as well. So there are some places where you can actually hang that information
Is
too.
true. Thank you.
Amazing. Rashmi, final thoughts.
Yeah, I like the circle of excellence, and I'll be trying it. Even sitting at that point, I was trying it by closing the eyes.
Amazing. And it is as simple as that. So feel free to try that. Also, how you would like to be in the future. You know, whatever changes you would like to perceive in yourself, things you want to learn, start visualizing yourself as already there, and then add all of that to the circle. You know, when I wanted to do the TEDx, yeah, I had that in part of my circle as well. And I was visualizing it up here. Yeah, you know, I'm there already. And I'm feeling the feelings of having successfully achieved it and so on. So people, fantastic. Remember that we have a Facebook community that we're growing, and we would love to have more people like you. So if you want to leave any comments, your findings from today's session, whether you like it or not, whether you recommend it, whatever that might be, whatever comes to mind, engage a bit more in the Facebook group. I'm going to be more active. I'm quite active, but hey, I'll carry on doing more things. Remember that I'm here to support you. You can always, for people watching a replay, watching live now, you can book strategy calls with me in order to look at your challenges and put a plan together. Herman and I, we also run another business, and Rashmi is always supporting, and we have a small team of people creating videos as well. So videos for entrepreneurs, videos for speakers, for coaches, for SMEs. So keep on coming to the Speak to Sell show every Thursday. If not, watch the replay. If not, at least say hello. Sometimes, you know, as simple. Ada joined, she was putting her babies to bed, and she just say hello for a moment, and then she dropped out. It's all good in the hood. It's so good in the hood. People, I'll let you all go. Enjoy.
Jose, it's like, before you go, are you here every Thursday?
Every Thursday, 10 a.m. UK, I'm here.
Okay, so I shall see you Thursday on time, punctual this time.
Whenever you like. We touch on different topics. We do different things. We are going to be having some speakers as well. So we're inviting more guest speakers to make it a bit more diverse as well. And mainly women, actually. Only women are coming this month. No, in February. We have 3 women coming. So I love it. So all about, yeah, exactly. Inclusive.
Okay, so we will gang up on you.
Thank you very much. Please. Yeah, that's all I need. Especially, you know, my wife, Rashmi, then you ladies. That's exactly what I want. That's what I've been asking for. Amazing. I'll let you all go now, people.
Thank you. See you,
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Ciao,
Take care,
ciao.
everybody. Bye-bye. Remember to follow if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Get in touch. Speak your greatness. Take good care. And Jose is going to go out now. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Take care. See you next Thursday. Bye.
Ciao, bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, people. Bye, 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 everybody. Right. What a session today. Loved it. So remember to watch the replay. There is a very dynamic and engaging and lovely Facebook community called the Speak to Sell Show, where you have all of the different recordings, all the different shows that we've run. You're going to find them there. And there is incredible value. There are loads of tips, downloads. My brother Herman has been creating resources in order to help you create engaging videos that sell, that position you as an authority. And we carry on growing this community. We would love you to be part of it. If you like the value you've received today, share this, share the message, invite people to join us. Watch this. It's also available on YouTube. If you subscribe to the channel, if you subscribe to the show, come to the community, you will receive an email with the recording and much more. So carry on speaking your greatness. Your story matters. And I really hope you come back to the Speak to Sell Yourself and Your Business show. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care. Bye.